Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me to the point of it doesn't sound like absolute garbage? Does it sound like trash, or can we get by? How about now? Holy cow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this thing. Good stuff. Yeah, the webcam's frozen. You can't see my smiling face this morning, but I've made you wait long enough. Let's get going. All right, NASDAQ, we're going to start out. Same thing as always, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be doing the 3-day cycle. We're going to be doing the 3-day setups. We're going to be doing days of breakouts, signal days, first red, first green, all of that stuff as always. Okay, and I've got my 5 pairs up here, and we're going to be looking to see if any of these are set up appropriately for a good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday setup. Monday opening range of the week creates a high and a low, and then looking for the basically Tuesday, was it a breakout day? Was it a failed breakout? First green, first red. Maybe looking for a signal day on this day, and that will give us hopefully or possibly some kind of opportunity here on this Wednesday. Now, I've got this tips and tricks slide. Tips and tricks slide that is a guide that helps me get through this. I'm going to actually put that up there for you now, and hopefully it can help you as well. I posted this many times, and it's in the resources section of my Discord, but I got it. Some of you don't want Discord, and that's perfectly fine. So let me get this up there for you. Before we continue to do this, I just have to remind you all, this is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education informational purposes only, without any expression implied to warranty of any kind, including warranties, accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Please read through this. I just wanted to give you all this little disclaimer before we go into actual analysis things, so you know that I'm not a financial advisor. So, all right, let's take a look at this. All right, I've got this slideshow here. It's basically a guide for me to figure out different types of weekly templates. I've shown this before. These are the different, it's just describing the different kinds of templates that we could be looking at. All right. You can ignore 7 or 6 and 7, or no, excuse me, 5 and 6. You can ignore 5 and 6, look at 1 through 4, and then number 7. These will describe the different types of templates that I'm looking for. So, if Monday closed outside opening range on Tuesday, basically an opening range breakout, probability of Wednesday continuation increased significantly unless the breakout fails on Wednesday. So how would I know that the breakout is failing on Wednesday? Well, there's templates for that. Let's go down. Let's zoom all the way down. Hopefully it didn't take me too long because I've already wasted y'all's time by a lot, and I apologize for that. Something like this. All right, we get an opening range breakout on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, we'd be looking for the market to continue to make lower lows and lower highs, except it starts breaking back up to the upside, making higher highs and higher lows. That is my indication that this breakout could be failing, at least temporarily, in the session that I'm trading. So if we're getting this failed breakout sort of maneuver, breakout pullback back up on the inside of the current week's range, maybe I can target the other side. Okay, maybe it's a reversal trade. This is one template. Now I want you to look at this template and look at how it's kind of like this cup and handle sort of thing. I'm not looking for the cup and handle. I don't care about that. I'm just kind of a nice little formation, right? This is from the downside going back up. Pretty much the exact same thing from the top side going back down. All right. So that's one description that we can look for. The other one that we can look for is, which is the one that I'm looking at on NASDAQ right now, is, let's see, if we close at a failed breakout on Tuesday, probability of reaching the other end of the opening range increased significantly. Does that always happen? Absolutely not. But if Tuesday tries to go lower and it fails, it comes back up, I can start looking for higher highs and higher lows on the day in order to turn that into some kind of trade. A lot of times there won't be a trade at all. Essentially attempting to go lower. Can you all still hear me? Okay, never mind, Fauci, thank you. All right, we attempted to go lower, pulls back up on the inside of the range. Now, from today, we're just consolidating on the inside. We had this large end-of-day consolidation yesterday. All right, this is what it looked like. We had a outside day on Monday, also a first red day. So I'm going to label that real quick. All right, mainly looking for a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday trade, but I'm going to label off some details that go along with it, and hopefully that can guide me into something better. All right, we had an outside day. It was also a first red day on this Monday, which is the opening range of the week. Tuesday broke out, attempted to make a lower low and failed, pulled back up. Does that mean that it's going to go to the other side of the range? Absolutely not. First red, so this is day one of the cycle. Now we have a new day over here. Okay, so as I continue to look at this, things are starting to develop more and more in my brain, and that's why I like to try not to rush, right? All right, here we go. So peak formation high was made on Monday. Peak formation low was made on Tuesday. So I had originally shown you all this, number 2. But we also have number 3. If Monday's breakout fails, then Tuesday's breakout fails at the other end of the week. High potential for trend trade on Wednesday. So let's go back and take a little look. So we had a breakout attempt at the high of the week on Monday that failed. And then they tried to do the same thing down here on Tuesday and failed at the other side. All right, so there's one of our tips and tricks. Peak formation high, peak formation low. This is a 3-day rectangle. We are now consolidating basically on the inside of that rectangle for whatever is going to happen today. So what I can do is I can frame today, go into today and look at, hey, what are we doing in the session? Are we making lower lows, lower highs? Are we trading down into the low of the day? Are we trading into the high of the day? And watch around 9:30 to see how the market is behaving. I can't tell you anything right now because it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. But by 9:30, I will know more and be able to make decisions on whether or not I want to trade this. Yeah, heartbeat. It's basically a heartbeat pattern, right? We get a consolidation, spike the high, spike the low, pulls back on the inside, goes into consolidation into today. News in 10 minutes. Yep. Okay, so that's the NASDAQ. We're going to go to US 30. Okay, so first thing I noticed is we had a breakout on Monday that failed on Tuesday and actually broke out. Okay, so number 1, this is day 1 of the 3-day cycle. Why is this day 1? Well, day 1, they forced a previous day's high at the high of the current week. It fails the next day, day 1, day 2. So we have trap volume essentially at the high of the current week. And that is going to slide us over into day 3. All right, so number 1, it's day 3 of the cycle. Number 2, it's day 3 of the week, Wednesday. Number 3, Tuesday was a breakout day. This is an opening range breakout of Monday's low. Will this breakout succeed or fail? Are we going to continue to go lower, or are we going to go back up? Now, that's a pretty broad question. So let's go back to here. Let's use my guide. Where are we at? Oh, boy. Okay, number 1. Market closed outside opening range on a Tuesday. Opening range breakout. Probability of Wednesday continuation increased significantly. Let's find some examples. Oh, okay, so opening range breakout on a Tuesday. Asia makes a lower low. London pulls back. Trend continuation. Asia makes a higher high. London pulls back. Continuation. Asia makes a lower low. London pulls back. Gap time makes a lower low. Pulls back into New York. Continuation. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is I'm looking for the template. I'm looking for the scenario in which my setup makes sense. So when I come back over here to this, I can look and see, all right, well, Asia's made a lower low, and so is London. So I have a lower high, and we're also broken out right now. So a lower high, a lower low. We've pulled back into New York. I'm going to look for an engulfment to the downside, okay? 9:30, I'm looking for low-hanging fruit continuation back down through the low of the day. If that doesn't happen, so be it. Maybe this is a higher low. Maybe we're going back up. I don't know. It's day 3. We could be reversing. That's not the setup that I'll be personally looking for. I'm going to look for the opening range breakout trend continuation trade, lower low, lower high, to go back down through the low. That's what I'll personally be looking for. Additionally to what I just said, I do like this a lot more than the NASDAQ as of right now. We'll see, but I think they're both decent, but I think I have a much clearer or more clear idea of what I'm looking for on this one. All right, we'll go to the Russell. Okay, Monday broke out. We had 3 sessions of breakout. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. Then on Tuesday, we get an opening range breakout to the downside, which is also considered maybe a first red day. We had a large pumping day on Friday, Monday, into Tuesday. So maybe the low of the week from Friday where this pump, you can see this little pin down here, kind of where the pump began. Big run up. 1, 2, 3, breaks down. Opening range breakout to the downside. So I'm going to label this as maybe where the pump has began. Hopefully, there we go. All right, so again, same thing. Let's check the cheat sheet. What do we have? What sort of scenario? We've closed on the outside of the opening range on a Tuesday. All right, so what do I need to look for? Again, structure is my main source. One thing to really point out, I've got a lot of examples on here of things where they do work out, and the common trend that you'll always notice is we've made a lower low and pulled back and pulled back. We've made a higher high and pulled back. We pulled back. All right, we pulled back. That's the beginning of the pump for the dump. We've made a lower low and pulled back. The reason I'm screaming this from the rooftops right now, and it's incredibly annoying, I'm sure, is because you'll get these scenarios where, they don't pull back and you end up getting chopped into oblivion the entire session. So look at this. This one bar down right here, you'll notice these like little ranges that they create with these bars. It's a 1 bar range that they've been holding in consolidation. Where is the pullback? There isn't one. All right, so that's a pretty big indication. This could have been a whole different scenario if they made this lower low and then pulled back into the beginning of New York to roll over. That would be the beginning of the pump and dump. But that doesn't happen. That's a good indication you're going to get chopped up. So let's go back to the Russell. After using the cheat sheet, we had a breakout. Breakout failed on this day, day 1 of the 3-day cycle. that one. Day 1, day 2, and that leads us into today being day 3. Yesterday was day 1 breakouts to the downside. So again, will the breakout succeed or will the breakout fail? Asia, gap time really. London makes a lower low. London has pulled back. Okay. Now, do I know or do I think that it's going to continue to go down today? I have no idea. I have no clue. All right, but I can look for the setup. I can look for the opportunity if it were to present and present in a proper manner. Do I really care for the fact that it is pumped back up and then pulled off the high, kind of like a creeping trend back down into the low? No, I don't really care for that, so maybe I'll look elsewhere. But this is the idea. We're in breakout to the downside. We will see. Can someone give me the time interval in color in New York time? Asia, 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern time, New York time. London, 2 to 5 a.m. New York is 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. All right, if you're using the pips to profit indicator, make sure this box is not checked. DST is not checked. All right, there we go. 8 o'clock. Since somebody just asked, hey, Space, good to hear from you. I don't think I've heard from you in quite some time. Of course, I haven't been doing these streams much. I was doing for all of you that don't know, I was doing a webinar last week, so I did not have time to do these. Okay, oil. Monday, Tuesday. Monday was a breakout day. Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday was a breakout day that did not close outside of the range. That closed back up on the inside. Was it a first green day? No. Space in 2 minutes. News in 2 minutes. Yes, I think it's 1 minute now, but yep. All right, I'm double checking. You could do that, but you could also just use K-Trade. You could also just use the pips profit indicator. It's free, of course, and it just does it all for you. Totally up to you. All right, so oil. Looking at this, I've got 3 days breakouts, or 3 days of shorts being triggered in the market at least. 1, 2, and 3. 3 days of shorts being triggered into the market without triggering the other side. We have not hit previous day's high. This is also a narrow range day. I'm going to skip these ads for you all. Narrow range day. Maybe we're set up for an explosion today. I don't know. But this is 3 days of shorts. So with 3 days of shorts, does anybody know the next step, the next thing that I'm looking for? What kind of pattern would I be looking for? It's real simple. I get a signal day. I know exactly. Wow, thank you very much for that. You didn't have to do that. You can go to Discord and message me directly, and we can talk about it. Appreciate the support, but you certainly didn't have to do that. Let's see. Okay, good. Higher high. So yes, basically I'm looking for a short squeeze pattern, right? I've got 3 days of shorts in the market. All that is signaling to me is that we might be overextended in one direction, you know? So you can do a couple things. You just kind of take something like this. I know it's a trend line. I also don't really care for trend lines, but it gives you a nice visual reference. You can do that just for a good visual reference. We've been dumping. Are we going to start pumping? I don't know. So I need to figure out structurally kind of where we're at. I'm on a 15-minute chart. We were making lower lows and lower highs. Yesterday we pumped back up. We started making higher highs and higher lows. All right. Kind of a peak formation low, peak formation high, because they came up, pulled back, made a higher high, they made a lower low. So this is kind of like a peak formation high, peak formation low. That's fine. Do something like this. I don't want to overcomplicate things. The only thing that I'm going to look for now on this day would be the market to start making or continue making lower or higher highs and higher lows. If I'm going to look for this setup, that's what I really need to see. And this is not, I mean, it is, but is it really perfect where like we've had this higher high, the ideal perfect pattern, in my opinion, would have been higher high, and then over the course of 3 sessions, they do something like this into New York, makes a higher high. I get a short squeeze setup off the low of the day or off the low in general, because that's going to give me all of this space to get back up to the high. And that is really like the most important thing to me in the higher probabilities. When we're really compressed down low, compression leads to expansion. When we're compressed down low like this, and then it can expand in the direction that wanted to go. Like this has already kind of expanded a little bit. Not to say that it can't keep going, not to say that I won't keep looking. But I would have preferred to have caught, kind of like this actually. This is actually a pretty good example. I just drew this out. But so we're compressed down low. They make the higher high and pull back. We get the peak formation in London. Coming out of compression into expansion. That's really what you want to see for a good squeeze. Hopefully that makes sense what I just said, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. Trying to get my thing set back over here. I have had more technical difficulties in this one live than I ever have the entire time I've been doing YouTube. So I do apologize for that. I know I've apologized a few times, but, well, it's kind of embarrassing. Not really my fault. I test everything, but it is what it is. We're going to move on. Let's go to gold. All right, we just had the news 3 minutes ago. Take a look at gold. Yeah, and we have oil inventories. Is it today or tomorrow? Usually they do it on Wednesday. They might have shifted it over one day. I got to go check. So far, for those of you that maybe have just came in, American indexes, we're looking good. We're on day 3 of the cycle. We've been making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so maybe we might be about to change. Something might be about to change. All right, we made lower lows and lower highs. Are we about to make a higher high, or is this just going to roll back over? I don't know. We'll see. NASDAQ, same kind of story. Russell, yeah. All right, so we made lower lows. We pulled back. This is kind of what I was talking about. Creeping trend into the low. We get this news event. Things are shifting. Things are changing. Good stuff. Let's go to gold. Opening range breakout. We've closed outside of the range. Okay, so now we have, is the breakout going to succeed or is the breakout going to fail? Same exact situation, same exact scenario. Breakouts to the downside. Breakout day 1. Breakout day 2. We've pulled back. We've done some peaks. So for whatever scenario it is, again, this is my reference. This is all I've got. Not loading. Please load. There we go. All right, so we've broken out to the downside. The idea is that we're either going to break out in trend or break out in reverse and go back towards the other side of the range. So we're broken out right now and closed outside of previous day's range. I'm going to look for them to pump it back up into the high of the day for a trend trade. That would be ideal, except Asia started making higher highs and higher lows, sort of, at least on the day itself, right? We peaked out, we made one high, we traded back into the high. So if we break down, fantastic. That's probably the only trade that I would really be looking for. But we will see. We've got some compression back up into that breakout level. Very early in the session, hard for me to say. I need to wait until 9:30. For those of you that don't know, that is usually my time. I take all the information I have on the board at 9:30 and say, hey, this is what I believe to be happening based off structure and the template, and then I make a decision from there. All I can do at this point at 8:30 in the morning is add my details in. So I've got breakout day 1, breakout day 2, opening range breakout to the downside. No other signal day. Yesterday was not a first red, not a first green. It was just a breakout day with a fairly weak close outside of the opening range for the week. So we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, questions, concerns. How do I determine the horizontal line? That line, right, this one right here, It's the breakout level for the day, the previous day. So this is the opening range, Monday's low. So essentially just Monday's low, right? We closed outside of Monday's low. Comedy Gold. Can we get the templates to download? There's plenty of videos where I posted it. Okay. On Discord, if you all are on Discord, which I really hope that you would be, because it's all free, of course. And I post a lot of stuff in there. In the resources section, it's the last thing that I posted on, was that May 22nd of this year? I've got that whole slide in there. Are you looking for a short on gold? The breakout. The breakout, is it going to succeed or is it going to fail? I've got peak 1, peak 2, maybe peak 3. We trade back up into the high of the day. This template, I would have rather have seen Asia make a lower low or London make a lower low and pull back for the short. Does that mean that it won't happen? Absolutely not. But the template, whenever I get an opening range breakout, this is the template that I look for. Asia, lower low, continuation. Asia, higher high, continuation. Asia, lower low. Gap time, lower low, continuation. Same thing. That's sort of the template that I look for. This is the trap, the garbage template. I put the bad example in there so I know what to avoid. What would you be looking for to buy? What would you be looking for a buy on NAS? Okay, so template. Peak formation high, peak formation low. Kind of looks like a short squeeze. This is a first hour trade, possibly, to squeeze to go higher. This is my playbook. Okay. Peak formation highs, peak formation lows. Playbook for each one of those things. So, peak formation high, peak formation low, looking for squeezes, things like that. Where's the resource section? It might need to be refreshed. I put a little period in there, so Jack, if you see it, it's there now. At least it should be. Okay, so you're asking what would I be looking for? It's going to all come back to this. Is one of these templates playing out for my playbook, or is it complete garbage? So let's go back and take a look. Peak formation high, peak formation low. We've compressed down into the low of the week and squeezed higher. This may have been the trade. Would I be willing to go short from this? I don't know. I'd have to see once we get back to previous day's high. But I doubt it, as of right now. Daily high-low indicator available in your Discord. The pips to profit indicator it's free, of course. You can click the link and download it to your chart. I've left instructions on how to get it. The only reason I've left instructions is because it's not a public indicator. You have to add it to your favorites and do some fancy stuff, but it's still free. This other indicator that I use for previous days high and low is just previous open, high, low, close, and FUSAM. You can just type that in and you'll get it. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? This might have been a first bounce opportunity on a lower time frame. I don't know. I may have just missed it. Oh boy, look at, oh man, that is beautiful. All right, ladies and gents. So I've been looking at the 15 this whole time when we were looking at the NASDAQ. It hurts. All right, so we've got a lower low over here and then a higher high. You're not going to see a better squeeze pattern ever. This is perfect. Look at this. It's like a W. It kind of looks like a cat. What is it, like the cat's nose or whatever with the whiskers? They spike it up one time. They bring it back down. It makes you think it's going to go lower. Price action-wise, bars dragging higher. No overlap in the bars into the news. Vertical move. But this is the start of the setup right here. So for those of you that don't know what a short squeeze setup looks like, or what my definition of a short squeeze would be, higher high on the day itself, and then they come back down in 3 legs or 3 pushes of some kind. 3 pushes, 3 legs is subjective, but all it is a guide and a way of, trying to kind of gauge where the pullback could be, where it could land. So we could say, hey, this is push 1, this is push 2, and this is push 3 into the low. All right, so maybe we're going to get our squeeze, but then we're not in the timing window. So this higher high now is on a lower time frame, probably a 1-minute chart. 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars into the low and a peak formation. You're not going to see it ever any more perfect than that. That is beautiful. Now take this. I understand that there was news, so it is what it is, right? I can't make the news schedule do anything different. But what I can do is, having studied this pattern, say, hey, take this box, move it over a little bit. Now inject 930 right here, 2 thumbs up, and start screaming at the ceiling, because that's perfect. All right. Anyways, I'm being ridiculous, but also serious. What did US 30 do off this news? Okay, not as perfect. All right, we did make a higher high over here, but no big deal. This is why I do my analysis on the 15-minute chart, but then I go down to the 5, and it makes things a little bit more clear. Creeping trend into the low after making a higher high. This is the Russell, right? So I had said, hey, this is a lower low, but then they came back up and made a higher high. Creeping trend into the low. This creeping trend is even more, almost said more easy. A little bit easier to see. It breaks down, push 1, breaks down, push 2, breaks down, push 3, into the low, peak formation engulfment. And then it trades back down to the low, very similar to NASDAQ. Price action was just a little different. This is a far superior pattern. Okay, we'll look at gold and oil. I still don't really care for oil, if I'm being honest. This is just sitting in the middle of a range. Not a good squeeze pattern. This is going to be my main focus. Gold is by far my main focus. Okay. Why? Why would I say that? Because it hasn't done what it's going to do. Okay. Whether this is 3 peaks at the high for a short trade, or this is turning into a squeeze to go back to the high of the week, it hasn't done either of those things. So this is my main focus going into 9:30. Okay. That's not a suggestion. That's not me telling you that this is the best pair to trade. That's for you to make your own decisions, but this is what I'll personally be doing. And why. Does anybody have any pairs that they would like me to look at before I go? Again, I do apologize for the making you all wait. It wasn't my fault. It was my fault because the technical difficulties, I take full responsibility. But I will have all those things fixed for the next live stream on Friday morning, 8 a.m. Silver? Let's do silver. Okay, big picture. Interesting. Okay, day 1 of the cycle yesterday. Okay, so we got an opening range, high of week. We've dumped down. Silver's interesting. We've dumped down. And then we have a narrow range day, but also a first green day. So day 1 of the cycle, they broke out. The breakout failed. Peak formation low. Day 1. Day opens. Day trades down. Day trades back up. First green day. Okay, this is also a narrow range day. Narrow range day is just again, think about the cycles that the market goes through. If you have a narrow range day, that means it was not a large range day, which means that there's a higher probability of within the next 2 days of you getting a large range day, a wide range day, a day that trends, a trend day, whatever. So first green day, narrow range. We could get another narrow range day today, and that would even, that would push the probability that the large range day will be on Thursday or whatever, but we won't even worry about that. No big deal. So what would I be looking for? We've got a lower low. Okay, and then now we've got higher highs on the day. Breakout. Good stuff. 3 sessions outside previous day's high. Working back down into that high. Would be looking for it. Asia makes a higher high. London pulls back. Will New York go vertical? I don't know. How many weeks of breakouts do we have going down? Is this the first week we're going down? No. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, week 1 breakouts. Last week, week 2 breakouts. We're into week 3 breakouts, and we get a first green day. Not bad. I like this a lot. I'm salivating a little bit. I might come back and watch this. Of course, I have to trade it on futures, but no big deal. Not a bad template at all. GU. Let's go take a look at GU. Okay, details. 2 days of breakouts, opening range breakout. We broke out yesterday and closed. We're just in consolidation. Nothing has happened. We haven't made higher highs. We haven't made lower lows. We have done jack diddly garbage. I can't do anything with this. Am I going to guess direction and hope it keeps going lower? Am I going to look for the breakout and hope it goes higher? I would be forced to have to trade direction with this. It is not set up appropriately. Are there any rules that 3 pushes should reflect? Can retrace? I don't have any specifics. I just have different patterns or types of 3 push patterns, Carlo. And I understand that it can be used in 2 different ways, either to look for pullbacks, so I can gauge 3 pushes in a pullback, or I can look for over-exhausted moves coming out of consolidation, so like previous day's high, for example, the fact that we get 3 sessions of breakout for a reversal back down, and that's why it's one of my setups from the playbook. Things like this. Three sessions of breakout on day 3, or 3 sessions of breakout after 3 days of breakout. Over-exhausted moves, 3 peaks. But mainly I'm looking for 3 pushes to resolve itself in a peak formation. So that's my big thing, is I don't know that it's going to be 3 pushes until I get my peak formation. So for example, I could say, hey, that's 3, but it kind of looks like 4. But then I get my peak formation high, and I can say, okay, there's my 3 pushes, because I can see it now that I have my peak formation high. 1, 2, 3, volume trap above push 2. I'm going to take my entry because the peak formation has been completed. Yeah. Playbook's part of the boot camp. Of course, I've shown it on here so many times, though. Between these, if you go through my live streams, I scroll through it quite a bit. You'll be able to see it and probably grab it. All right. Any other? You wanted to see GU, so let's go back to GU. I was saying I can't really do anything with this because the template is 3 days of breakouts down. Really, it's just 2 right now. 2 days of breakouts down. Opening range breakout down. We've closed. I would have to look for Asia to make a higher high or something like that to go back up, or London to make something like that. None of that's happened. I can't do anything with GU. Any other pairs? All right, ladies and gentlemen, next live stream will be on Friday, 8 a.m., same time. Except everything will work from the moment the stream starts, I promise. I'm going to be doing some, I'm going to fix this audio, whatever's going on with this. And this camera, since apparently it's frozen it's frozen with me like trying to fix it, which is crazy. I wish it was my face frozen like that because it'd be hilarious. Anyways, I hope you all have been having a good week, and you have a good rest of your week. I've got a lot of things planned for next year and for the rest of this year. All right. You have a great rest of your day. I will see you on Friday, 8 a.m., and the video will be posted on Saturday as well. I have a whole market structure video ready to go, explaining when market structure is important, how to use market structure as a part of a pullback, how to use market structure as a part of framing your setup, and things like that. All right. I will see you all on Friday. Appreciate every single one of you. To the person who donated, you didn't have to do that, but I really greatly appreciate it. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.